the renewal committee took that, and as you can see, they reached out to a consultant to do a basic study of the town of Arlington, the Arlington Rescue Squad, the Arlington Fire Department, to see where are we headed as far as, you know, resources, as far as how does it function, as far as a building, how do we house the whole thing, that whole big question. And very frankly, this is the first time I've seen this today. So, like I said, I just had some brief discussion with Jim Baker about it. They sort of jumped and ran with it. And what's come out of that is that the renewal committee has talked with the fire company and the rescue squad and trying to organize that thought a little bit more as to, you know, where are we going to be in 20 years. And at this point, they've reached out to this Municipal Resources Incorporated is the name of the company who does that type of assessment throughout the country. I think they're in New Hampshire, Meredith, New Hampshire is their actual address where they're located. So right now, the position of the committee and the fire company and the rescue squad is that they will fund the study. It will not directly cost the town any money, and that's talked about in here somewhere, I think. I didn't copy the whole contract because there had to be a couple more changes in it. I copied the front page of it just to sort of give you some kind of an idea of what's been talked about. And one of the things that they're requiring, the company's requiring, is a letter of support from the town. Okay, so that's the other page that we've got there. That type page, Don Keelan brought it in this morning. It's just that type page. So what they're asking the town to do is support this study, not financially, but in theory or ethic or however you want to put that. So that's the long and short of the whole thing. Like I said, I didn't know anything about this consultant agreement until this morning when Don brought it in. I totally agree with the concept. It would have been good if we'd been in on a little more of the discussion, but we weren't. So this is where it's at. The fire company has agreed to pay the bill. I believe the number at this point, it may change a little bit as they go through negotiations, is somewhere in the range of $35,000 to do the study. The fire company has agreed to pay that. The rescue squad has agreed to try to pay a portion of it, and there are a couple other sources of funds within the town. So it would not directly be taxpayer dollars. So at this point, they're asking for the support of the town to move forward with this contract and get that study done. That's what I've got on it right now. As I said, I totally agree with the concept of it because we need to start looking out there. This is a problem that's nationwide, definitely Vermont statewide. It's going to be Arlington's. It already is Arlington's problem. Mm-hmm. We don't have the volunteers. How do we deal with these things moving forward? It's definitely an important piece of the puzzle, and this is a way to try to put together a plan.
Yeah, I think this is a good start into our long-term vision, and the sooner we can get started on that, the better.
I think it's really important to me that the fire department and the rescue squad be fully involved in this, and it sounds like they are. It seems like a lot of money to me. I'm not going to tell the fire company what to do with this money, but that seems like a lot of money. And I also would note that although I agree with what's stated here and what you stated in terms of this is an important issue, since the town was not part of this agreement, nor is it part of the discussions, nor the execution of the planning and the study, I will be under no obligation to adopt the results of the recommendation unless I believe they are valid and accurate. So I don't want to be presented with some kind of big plan and say, well, you have to do this when I was not part of the discussions.
I don't think that's the intent.
Okay, that's fine. It's just that, I'm totally blown away by everything that Arlington Area Renewal has done, but if we're not part of initiating the plan and doing the planning process, there's no guarantee that what they come up with is going to meet my criteria for a good plan going forward. And they need to understand that before they spend any money. That I'm not necessarily going to like what they come up with or agree with it, because I had no input into the forming of this agreement or anything. And I understand the fire department and the rescue squad are involved in it, and I think that's really great, but I was not involved in it at all. And I don't know this company, and I don't know what kind of work they've done. I haven't seen anything that they've done, and I think that's a lot of money.
Well, it seemed to me that they'll come back to those departments, or those organizations with their recommendations, and then they would really need to put that together and bring it, those organizations, the fire company, rescue squad, would have to put that together and bring it to us, right?
Yes, I mean, that would be the process. I think that my understanding, again, from the basic discussion this morning, is that there has been discussion with the fire department, fire company, and the rescue squad, their thoughts as of, you know, where they're at now and what they're thinking about. So that will go to the consultant. The consultant will probably come into town, spend quite a few hours here looking at what we've got, discussing where we need to go, all that thing. Look at what the state of Vermont's doing, what's being done nationally, and come back with recommendations for the town. I would expect, since ultimately the fire department is a piece of the town, and that's what you're really ultimately looking at here, is what does the fire department do? That's got to come back to the town. And the town is going to be the one that makes the decision as to really what happens. As far as carrying out the plan. Now, they can put together a proposed plan, and everybody has a chance to put input into it. But dollars and cents wise, the ultimate decision sets here. No question about it. The rescue squad being a separate entity, but I think that, you know, there's no question but what down the road those two entities are going to merge together. That's been proven all over the countryside so far. But yes, I think that, you know, we'll get to look at everything.
Yeah, that's not the same as being involved in the process.
No.
And I don't like it when people come back with a proposal that we don't necessarily agree with, and then they just keep pushing that proposal.
Well, we've seen that happen.
I know we have seen that happen, and I just want to put it out there that you know, the more they involve this board and check in with this board and involve us in their planning process, the better the recommendations are going to be. If they just go off and do their work and then come back with a plan, it won't necessarily be a plan that takes into account what I consider the priorities in terms of our obligation for the taxpayers, because you have a different perspective when you're elected and you're responsible to the taxpayers behind this board. And I just want them to understand that.
Just to be sure, I mean, like I said, I did have the basic thought process back and forth between Jim Baker of where do we go. Okay, so that was just a thought, and I think
yeah, I know, but I didn't have that.
But
you had that with Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker was not at this board discussing this with me.
No.
No.
No, that's a fact.